Okay, everyone, I'm going to start letting people in. Okay, everyone, I'm going to start letting people in.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to the University Academy 92 virtual experience. We know this isn't a normal open day, so thank you for joining us. I'm Claire Riding, Director of External Affairs at UA92. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we've got available today in our virtual experience. And then I'll hand over to our Principal and CEO, Professor Craig Gaskell, who will give a welcome and brief overview about UA92. We'll then have a live Q&A with our fab students, John and Asila, who've joined us virtually today. Then we'll have a little break to give you a chance to get some lunch or a drink. At 12:30, be able to join us for an Instagram live campus tour. And then at 1 o'clock, we'll be running our course tasters across media and journalism, business and accounting and finance, sports and exercise science and physical education, and computer science. And then at 2 o'clock, we've got a finance and wellbeing session and a parents and guardians session. So hopefully there's something for everybody. I know that some of you will be people that have already applied to study with us, excuse me, and some will be people that are thinking about applying. So please drop in the chat box and tell us which one of those you are, so that we can try and tailor what we tell you if that's helpful. We know that this isn't a normal open day, obviously a really unusual time for everybody, and we're sorry that you won't be able to visit our campus today. We do have some activities happening on campus, but just to give you an overview of what our wonderful campus is like, we have got a short video to show you. that just gives you a little overview of what our campus is like. It's now my absolute pleasure to introduce our Principal and CEO, Professor Craig Gaskell.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks, Claire. I'm actually on campus now, so the film that you just saw, that's where I am here in Greater Manchester in Trafford, just a stone's throw away from the centre of town. So thanks for tuning in today. Sorry you're not here physically with us. We've got quite a lot of people visiting us today, but in small family groups, just observing all the social distancing and the like. I'm just trying to advance my slides now. I've just broken the system already. Just 1 second. So let's see if I can get it to move on. There you go. Clearly, we're in really unprecedented times all over the world, in the country, in higher education, in everywhere. So we're all ready to go back on our campus. In fact, staff have been working on campus now most of this week, and as I say, visitors are starting to come and go now. So we have a really safe operating environment on campus. So we all have our rules as to when we wear our masks as we're wandering around and things like that. But the campus is full of hand sanitizers. I think there's about 19 dotted around, so they're everywhere. We have a one-way system. This symbol means we're not supposed to be sharing any equipment. And for students, because we have a wonderful campus, but all of our learning resources are online. So that means we don't have physical library books, which really helps. So we've got very extensive online library, but and the whole reason for that isn't anything to do with COVID. That was always what we're doing at UA92, but the whole reason is so that our students can get access to their learning resources wherever they happen to be, whether they're on campus or not. And so that makes that kind of thing a little bit easier for us. And of course, we're observing all the social distancing. We have a one-way system and all that stuff. We have a really safe and secure campus here, so it's a safe place for us to work. It's a safe and secure place to come and learn, which is why we'll be, unless there was a major change to government guidelines, we'll be here in September. Whatever happens, UA92 starts in September, so we're even prepared if we went into full lockdown temporarily. The learning would just continue, and I'll explain how that will happen. But we'll be here and we'll be starting term on campus, and we've got quite a lot of students now we're in touch with, preparing to come and join us. So if you're still interested in coming and studying with us, even this year, we still have places available. Just get in touch and we'll arrange for you to come and visit us if that's what you'd like to do before you arrived. Just a couple of things then about UA92. See if I can advance the slides. University Academy 92 is a very interesting higher education institution, and we're formed by a unique partnership of Lancaster University, very well-respected university, one of the top 10 UK universities, academically very strong. The class of 92, ex-Manchester United legends, Phil Neville, Gary Neville, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt. And between these two groups, essentially top quality academics and high performing elite athletes and high performance. You put that combination together and that creates UA92 as an organization that's got the expertise and the know-how in terms of developing peak performance in all areas of life, not just in sport, and high academic standards. And then we add to that mix our partners, so the people that we work with, people like Microsoft, and I'll show a slide with the partners on in a second. You add to that, and what you have is an institution. We're separate to Lancaster University, but we're co-founded by them. We're part-owned by Lancaster University, and all of our degrees are awarded by Lancaster University. So that sets a very high academic bar, but we also, in parallel with academic development, we really focus on all of our students from day one, character and personal development as well. So the whole UA92 experience is both an academic learning experience and a personal development learning experience. And all of our students are on a journey with an explicit aim to make sure that they have an accelerated approach into careers and long-term life success. So it's a unique combination formed only by this unique combination of partners that actually make University Academy 92. We're quite a small institution. I mentioned there that our degrees are awarded by Lancaster University. So every degree that gets awarded from to a student at UA92, or indeed a certificate in higher education, if students decided after 1 year to step off, you could, if you were successful in that year, go away with a certificate in higher education. But these are Lancaster University degrees recognised the world over as top quality awards. And actually we work in very, very close partnership with our academic colleagues at Lancaster. But the teaching team, the whole team, we have an academic team of top class academics and advanced industry practitioners that form the teaching team. So it's academics and practitioners together that deliver the curriculum at UA92, and that's our team here based here. It's not colleagues from Lancaster University, even though we have mutual support between our two organisations. What we do is industry-led, so very explicitly our degrees are co-developed with industry leaders, and they're co-delivered with industry leaders, and industry professionals, advanced practitioners get involved in everything that we do at UA92. This isn't a distant relationship. So Microsoft, for example, have worked very closely with us and a number of other partners in developing our new computer science degree. They'll be involved in its delivery. They'll be involved in supporting the students. So it's a very, very close engagement, not a distant engagement. Being industry-led means our partners are very close. They're not some distant bunch of partners that we put logos on things. They're very much part of everything that we do. And they challenge us, and they make sure that what we're doing is not only academically sound, that's Lancaster's job, but that it's relevant to the world of work right now, and constantly challenging and making sure our curriculum stays up to date and what we're delivering is relevant. We talked about character and personal development being at the core of everything that we do. So regardless of your academic discipline, be that in the business area, in the media area, in sport, in the digital area, computer science, as we've mentioned, accounting, whatever it happens to be, every single student will obviously develop their academic knowledge and their learning in that specific area, but we'll go through a real focused approach to character and personal development with your own personal development coach to ensure that you develop all those life skills very early on in terms of communication, resilience, focus on your own well-being, all those things that general problem solving skills with a real focus on your own career preparedness, your own development as an individual. So our distinctive approach then, we actually don't deliver in the same way as most universities deliver. So you will study one module at a time. So you'll focus on one subject at a time and then move on to the next. We study in 6-week blocks. So you'll spend 6 weeks with a real focus. All your learning and assessment will be contained within that 6 weeks. So there's no traditional end of year exams. The assessment happens close to where you do the learning. So it's lots of learning and assessment in 6 weeks. Then you have a break, then you move on to a new subject, do learning and assessment, and that assessment is behind you, so you progress through. So in 6 weeks, you'll have actually done a block of learning, a block of assessment. Hopefully you will have acquired, past that module, and then we just keep moving on. There's always opportunities to retake and things like that, but it means you're progressively getting things in the bag, if you like, rather than wait until the end of the year to have a big final examination period. And that's good if people have to take breaks, if you were to unfortunately be ill or to have some family issues, to take a block out, that's fine. That doesn't stop your progression here. You study either in the morning or in the afternoon, and we fix your timetable. So you're either a morning student at UA92 or you're an afternoon student. If you're a morning student, that means all your learning on campus will be in the mornings, which means all your afternoons will be free to do work, to do family commitments, to do other things. Maybe you're still doing sport yourself. Maybe you're learning a musical instrument, whatever it happens to be. Maybe you've got you've got family commitments or something else that you do. So it allows you to have structure. And a lot of our students actually will decide that they actually want to work in that period. And of course, because of the connections with the partners, some of our students work in the area that they're studying, and it's stable work in that sense. So they can offer to be available for part-time work in those times. And our entry point, so we start in September, so we'll have a lot of students come in this September. We also have an entry point in November, so you can start in November, you can start in January as well. So it's not just all September starts, but most students start in September, but we just keep going with a November and a January entry point as well. So the approach is quite distinctive, quite different to most universities out there, but for really good reasons. It's about creating a focused approach that focuses on students, that creates you the maximum, by fixing it all, it creates you the maximum flexibility to work, to fix your life commitments, and it allows you to progress through step by step rather than waiting and having a big exam period at the end. So lots of assessment, rigorous assessment, but it's assessment of learning in many forms and not traditional examinations. So that short film hopefully summarised probably better than I did what the distinctive features of our approach at UA92 is. It's exactly how it happens. And if you wanted to catch that film again, you can find it on our website. And in about a minute, it explains the distinctive approach. So we talked about that timetable where you're either a morning student in for 4 hours or an afternoon student, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday or Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday, that's the time that you spend on campus. So if you're a morning student, that'll be 4 hours in the morning. If you're an afternoon student, that'll be 4 hours in the afternoon. Wednesdays are always free from timetable commitments. So that's where you do the equivalent of 4 hours of directed learning, but in your own time. It's a time to suit you. You're expected to do it, but you're free to do it whenever you like. And we use Microsoft Teams. We always have done, nothing to do with the recent lockdown. We've always used Microsoft Teams, supported by our partners at Microsoft in setting that up. So everything goes onto Microsoft Teams, all the learning resources, and that really is our main communication tool. So it's we're very well supported by our digital online environment. And so that's where the learning's facilitated, the resources through Teams and other things that you do, but you're not in direct contact with staff. There might be chats and messages going on, but if you wanted to work or do something in particular through the day and do your studying in the evening, that's fine. Getting back to what it's like on campus. So you're on campus for 4 hours a day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday and Friday. They are your scheduled timetable classes in normal times. In this interesting COVID world where we've got to socially distance, our class sizes here at UA92 are small. So our rooms max out at about 30 students, and we normally have less than 30 students in our rooms. So even the maxed out class is a relatively small class. We don't teach in big lecture theatres in massive groups. It's all small groups. In this interesting socially distanced COVID world, we have to make the groups even smaller. So a room for 30 can only fit a maximum of something like 12 actually. So because we have to spread all the desks out, make sure people are apart, make sure the socially distancing is working effectively to keep everybody safe. So what that means is we're actually we've shrunk our group sizes, had multiple groups where we would normally have one. And even though our group sizes are very small, they're even smaller now. And that's what we're doing. And what we also want to do is minimize the amount of travel, particularly on public transport, for students coming to and from campus. So rather than starting with everybody on campus 4 days a week, which is normal, and that's in normal times, that's what we would do. Students will be on campus for 2 days, so either Monday and Thursday in a much smaller group than normal, so a really small group, or Tuesday and Friday. But the other 4 hours will be taught online using Microsoft Teams. And that's not about sending broadcast lectures and things like that. We don't do lectures. That's actively being taught live, working with each other, but doing it online. So you'd actually have essentially 4 hours of physical time and physical contact time on campus, but not really contact because we're socially distanced, but you'd be together in the physical world, and then you'd be together in the digital world for 2 4-hour blocks in the alternative. So if you're on campus on Monday, you'd be online on Tuesday, then back on campus on Thursday, online on Friday. If you're on campus on Tuesday, you would be online on Monday, then online on Thursday and back on campus on Friday. Hopefully that makes some sense. That's just purely whilst we're in this socially distanced world. If measures ease and we're allowed to the socially distancing finishes, then we could go back to 8 hours online. Perish the thought if we go into full lockdown and we have to close things down again, we would just carry on with exactly the same timetable and everything would switch online for a while, but we'd still keep in contact, we'll still keep working. And that's actually what we did this academic year when all universities had to close. We just switched to online and our students carried on in the same block structure, in the same timetable, but they just carried on online. So no progression is halted. Our students still did their assessments, they did all the learning. We didn't have to estimate any examinations or any assessment results. Students just carried on, and that's what will happen this year. So whatever happens with respect to COVID will start in September and we'll carry on in our block structure and the learning will carry on. But we anticipate 8 hours on campus, 2 days on campus, 2 days off campus, but engaged learning. And Wednesday is always a day when you do your learning in your own time without that live engagement. Hopefully that makes some sense. And there's the block structure. And as I said, you can start in September, but you can also start in November and January as well if you want. We have some grants available for, and again, this is a response to the pandemic. So it's really explicitly for people that have been made unemployed or their spouse has been made unemployed. There's some rules around this. You can see it online, but it's really grants for people that have found themselves unemployed as a result of COVID. But you'll be able to see the criteria online. But have a look at that. You may be eligible for a £5,000 grant as well if you've been impacted by COVID in that respect. Do lots of courses in the accounting, business and media area, so and sports, of course, physical education, sports science, and now computer science as well, and sport management. So that just gives you a sense of the courses that are available. And that's it from me. So thank you again for tuning in. If you're interested, please get back in touch with us, ask any questions that you like. Please come and visit us. We'll organise a safe way for you to come and visit the campus. And we'd love to see you either in September this year in one of our future entry points, or maybe in time to come. But thanks for taking time to listen to us. And back to you, Claire.
Thank you, Craig. Thanks for that brilliant overview. It's now my pleasure then to introduce some of our current students. We're joined today by Asila and John. So hopefully you can see them and hear them soon. I'll check that you can see them. Are you both there?
Hello.
Hi.
Hiya.
Hi, Asila. Hi, John. So I'll start off with a question, but I'll ask you both to introduce yourself and what you study as part of that as well. So, Asila, if I can start with you and ask you to tell us what course you're studying and why you chose UA92.
So, hi everyone, I'm Asila. I'm currently studying Media and Communications at UA92. And the reason I chose UA92 is mainly because of the no final exam. I've been studying, like, I've been doing, ever since I was in primary school, I've always gone through like final exams. And I remember when I was doing my foundation, I also had to go through final exams, and that really stresses me out. So when I found out that UA92 had no final exams, it was pretty much a winning point for me. And I was like, okay, sign me up straight away, because it's definitely a life changer not having to like feel pressured doing final exams. And yeah, that's one of the things.
Great, thanks, Asila. So the same question for you, John, then. Can you just tell us what you study and why you chose UA92?
Yeah, I'm John. I study sport and exercise science, and yeah, same with Asila. Obviously, the no exams part was a massive plus for me choosing UA92. Also, the timetable, which Craig explained before about it being kind of structured, so you're either like a 9-1 student or a 2-6 student. It enabled me to kind of fit, work around that. And obviously, with it being a new uni as well, wanted to be part of something quite promising and new. So to be like the first ever student to be part of UA92 was something that I was quite looking forward to being a part of. So yeah.
Great, thank you. And it's been a strange year for many people, hasn't it? Especially the last part of it. So I wondered, John, I'll stay with you. If you could tell us what's been your highlight of the past year studying with us.
There's been loads of highlights. I couldn't really like necessarily choose one, but it could be, all the people that I've met at the university, obviously like my classmates, all of the really friendly members of staff, and then also being part of the UA92 football team. So I was able to sort of like coach the team. So being able to be part of their first ever sports team, coach the first game, was something which, yeah, I'll look back on hopefully in future as very positive.
Great, thanks, John. So Asila, over to you. What's been your highlight of the last year studying with us?
I guess like what John said, like meeting new friends, and pretty much I guess that it was obviously a big move for me, Manchester, but I think one of the highlights would have to be meeting new people and like having new friends, because that really helped me with pretty much making myself settled into Manchester. So yeah, definitely like the highlight has to be making new friends, and the staff at UA92 also have helped me quite a lot with like making myself so like gaining somewhat like a new so that
Oh, I don't know if the internet froze for everybody then. So hopefully my connection is a bit sketchy. So if it was the case that everybody else couldn't hear all of that, then please feel free to drop some questions in the chat box. More than happy to answer it as well. And obviously John and Asila will be around for a little bit. So Asila, obviously the people on this virtual experience are thinking about studying with UA92 and obviously making what is a really big decision for a lot of people. What's your top tip for anybody thinking about studying at UA92?
I guess when it comes to my top tip, I guess to just like look at what UA92 offers, because like that really like was a plus point for me going through how there was no final exam and how structured the timetable was. So just go through like pretty much what UA92 has to offer, and if you have any questions, just ask any of us. Like you can ask us, the student ambassadors, you can ask the staff. really hope that we can be helpful enough for you guys to join our UA92 family. But yeah, just like ask around and pretty much just get to know UA92.
Great, thank you. And John, if you had to give a top tip, what would it be?
Yeah, I'd probably say my top tip would be to try and be open-minded. Obviously, as like a new student, it might be like quite daunting going into like a new thing, and maybe you might not know anyone. But the more kind of warm you are to the people around you, the more you'll feel better, essentially. Also, UA92, they offer a lot of like activities. So there's like well-being walks, there's like yoga that they offer, there's football teams. So like try and be open-minded in the way that don't rule yourself out of stuff. Maybe try stuff, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't like it, then you don't do it again. But at least you won't have missed that opportunity, essentially. That would be my top tip.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, from your perspective, John, it would be really interesting to hear how you found the experience, because you're a commuter student, aren't you? You don't live in student accommodation. So how have you found it commuting? As you know, what's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's been good. I've got my own car, so obviously I drive to uni, but there's also local there's Old Trafford metro stop, which is about 100 meters away from the university. So it's very easy to commute via public transport, but also with driving, as it's not necessarily right in the centre of Manchester, the traffic's never been like really that bad to get to uni. So I'm a morning student, so obviously rush hour is like 8-9 o'clock, isn't it? So I've always got there within, not too much time. So it's always been good for me. Obviously, they've got an enclosed car park that we use as well. So your car's never going to get like damaged or stolen or whatever.
That's great.
So, yeah.
And I guess some of the activities that you were just talking about getting involved in, that must help the sense of building a community when you're a commuter student as well.
Yeah, definitely. Because maybe some people might think, because I don't like live in halls or on like campus with people, that you might not be able to build like a strong relationships with people. But like I said, when you've got all of these like activities, it gives you chance to kind of like bond with other students who may not be on your course, or they might be a 2-6 student. So it gives you more opportunities to meet other people who you may not necessarily meet on your day-to-day studies. And yeah, it's really good.
Great, thank you. And Asila, I know you live in student accommodation. Can you tell us what that's like? I don't know if we've still got Asila. We might have lost her. I know we're
sorry, I'm back.
No worries. I don't know if you heard my question, but I was just saying, I know you live in student accommodation, so I wondered if you could tell us what it's like living in that accommodation.
Oh yeah. So I live in West Point, and it's actually, I think, one of the easiest place you can actually meet students from UA92, because obviously I'm an AM student, so I see normally just the AM students. I don't really see the PM students. But when we're at West Point, we could just simply like meet each other like at the lounge area, or pretty much maybe even in the laundry room, just be like, oh wait, you're UA92 students. So that's like another way you can also like meet people, like other students. And it's not even that far from the campus. It's about like maybe 5 to 8 minute walk, so you don't really have to wake up that early to go. You'll still make it to class. So that's like a plus point for me. Like and being able to live quite near to the campus, it's kind of like easy, because I'm a student ambassador, so it's kind of easy to go to campus for like student ambassador stuff. So yeah, I think overall like living in the student accommodation is actually quite fun, and it's not like any typical student accommodation. I get my own room, I get my own kitchen, so I still have that little private space for myself, like just for me to have my own me time. So that's one of a good benefit, I think, living there.
Absolutely, and probably at the moment, certainly through lockdown, I'm sure it would have been very helpful as well.
Yeah.
So a massive thank you to Asila and John for joining us today. I'm really looking forward to seeing you both on campus in September. Hopefully that's helped our guests get a little insight into what it's like studying at UA92 from our brilliant students. So thank you for taking the time today. Thank you for all of our guests for joining us on our first session. If you would like to see what it's like on campus, don't forget to join us for an Instagram live tour at 12:30, and then our course tasters start at 1 o'clock. So I hope you enjoy the rest of our event, and thank you for joining us.
Hi everyone.